Thank you everyone for being here. Good morning all. I'm going to talk about the mechanical ventilation in ARDS. ARDS is a very common problem which we see in our ICUs. So it is important to know the ventilator strategies, how we ventilate ARDS patients. Coming to the aspects of my talk, I'll first discuss about the definition, the concept of ventilator-induced lung injury, VILI. I'll be addressing ventilator-induced lung injury as VILI in my further talk. Lung protective ventilation, optimal PEEP, rescue strategies in ARDS ventilation, concept of mechanical power, and role of non-invasive ventilation in ARDS. I took the references from the recently published ESICM 2023 guidelines. They were published in June 2023. So coming to the definition of ARDS, we all know this. It is defined based on 4 parameters. First is the timing. The onset should be acute within 1 week of exposure to the risk factor. Chest imaging should have bilateral infiltrates, and the cause of the edema of the lung should not be purely explained by the cardiac origin. And based on the PF ratio, we divide it into mild, moderate, and severe. Mild is when the PF ratios is between 200 to 300. Moderate is between 100 to 200, and severe is less than 100. So this is the Berlin definition. This is the current definition of ARDS. Coming to the clinical course, ARDS has 2 courses basically. First is the early ARDS, then the late fibroproliferative ARDS. Early ARDS is more of exudative phase. There is there is accumulation of the extravascular lung water, protein, and inflammatory cells into the alveolar spaces, which lead to the bilateral infiltrates. This lasts for about 7 days. Most of the patients substantially recover after this phase. It will resolve in most of the patients, but some patients it will go to the next phase after 7 days. That is called as fibroproliferative phase, where the alveoli go into the fibrosing alveolatus stage, and this will be seen as the reticular opacities on the imaging. Early ARDS will be seen as diffuse infiltrates, whereas late fibroproliferative stage will be seen as reticular opacities. So ventilation in early ARDS is definitely easier and has better outcomes compared to the late ARDS because the lung is not fibrous yet. So this is how the early ARDS lung looks like. If you see the the part of the lung which I outlined with the red sketch is the baby lung. That is the normal preserved lung tissue. You see the GGOs and you see the consolidation. So it's totally a heterogeneous kind of lung. Okay. These closed alveoli, this collapsed alveoli is the part which can be recruited, and the baby lung is the part which is prone for hyperinflation. So before understanding the strategy of mechanical ventilation in ARDS, it is important to know the concept of VILI. So mechanical ventilation, it is used to improve the oxygenation of the in the diseased lung, but at the same time it will cause acceleration of the inflammatory process and augment the pulmonary damage, which we call as VILI. So the aim of ventilation in ARDS is basically 2 things. First is to improve the oxygenation, and second is to prevent the VILI, which is a major contributor of mortality in ARDS patients. Right? Remember this thing. First is to improve the oxygenation, and second is to prevent the VILI. Coming to the types of VILI, there are basically 4 types of VILI. Volume trauma. This is because of the excessive tidal volume which we give, which we also call as lung strain, which I'll talk about strain in the later slides. Just remember, volume is something related to the strain. So this will cause the hyperinflation of the baby lung. Then barotrauma. Due to excessive pressures which we give through the ventilator, that will cause barotrauma, which may lead to pneumothorax, pneumocongestion. Atelectotrauma. In low compliant conditions like ARDS, the alveoli tend to collapse easily. So this repetitive opening and closing of the alveoli will generate shear forces that will cause atelectotrauma. This is the reason PEEP is very important in ARDS. PEEP shunt opens the alveoli and it prevents the collapse. So these are, you can see the diagram on the left side of the column. The volume trauma, which causes over distension, the atelectotrauma will cause the lung collapse. That is because of the shear stress you subject to lung while ventilation. Then there is another thing called as biotrauma. Not only this ventilation has an impact on the lungs, but ventilation will transfer the energy to the lung, which leads to release of the inflammatory cytokines. Okay, that may cause multi-organ dysfunction. So ventilation may have impact on the other organs also. You should keep this in your mind. So as I told, the primary mechanism of Willi in ARDS is basically hyperinflation, volume of the baby lung, or cyclic atelectotrauma of the collapsed alveoli. Clear? So therefore, lung protective ventilation with optimal pressures is a cornerstone to prevent the Willi and improve the oxygenation in ARDS patients. So how can this be achieved? So so we know, because we have to prevent the hyperinflation, we have to go for the low tidal volume ventilation. In early 1960s, the researchers believed that believed that the amount of lung available to ventilate was low. So they tried to ventilate with larger volume, like 12 to 15 ml per kg, to open up the lungs and improve the ventilation. By this approach, they didn't prioritize the prevention of Willi. They were focusing only on improving the oxygen levels. But with this approach, there was no difference in the mortality in ARDS patients. So this made the researchers go to the next thing. They started ventilating the patients using the low tidal volume ventilation to prevent the hyperinflation of the baby lung. So this is a very famous ARDS-NET trial. There's like one of the game-changing trial in ARDS. In the next talk narration, we'll go into the depth of it. But I'll just give you an overview here. So here the low tidal volume group received a volume of around 6 ml per kg, and high tidal volume group received a tidal volume of 12. And plateau pressures were allowed up to 50 in the high tidal volume group, whereas in the low tidal volume group it was allowed up to 30. See, and the PEEP and all were also set accordingly. So this was the protocol of the lung protective ventilation. Two things you have to remember. They started with a tidal volume of 6 ml per kg. Here they adjusted the tidal volume according to the plateau. Okay, they wanted to limit the pressure to plateau pressure to less than 30. Based on that, they set the tidal volume somewhere between 4 to 8 ml per kg. Whereas respiratory rate, they looked at the pH. Okay, they targeted a pH of more than 7.3. According to that, they have increased the respiratory rate. They went to a respiratory rate up to 34 per minute. So if you see the last row, the tidal volume was 6 ml per kg, plateau pressure they limited to less than 30, saturation was targeted 88 to 92%, and pH was 7.3 to 7.45. Okay, and they use the preset PEEP here. If you see, the PEEP was preset, like if the patient was requiring 70% FiO2, the PEEP was set to 10. If it was 50% FiO2, the PEEP was 8. Okay, it was all preset PEEP. So they just adjusted the PEEP according to the preset table. So if you see the outcomes, it was a very good trial which has shown significant difference in the mortality. The group which received the low tidal volumes had very less mortality compared to the high tidal volume group. Not only that, even the number of ventilator-free days were also better in the low tidal volume group. So there was a clear benefit with the low tidal volume. So again, after this, there were 6 randomized trials which were conducted, which also showed the same benefit. So meta-analysis of the 6 RCTs were done. Almost 1,300 patients were included. There was significant lower mortality in the low tidal volume group. Even the recently published ASIM 23 guidelines has given a grade 1 recommendation for the low tidal volume ventilation. So thus the current use of 6 to 8 ml per kg ventilating the ARDS lung is now followed across the world, because it prevents the over distension and it prevents the atelectotrauma. So, but is this low tidal volume totally safe? Definitely, because you give low tidal volume, there is a risk of hypercapnia and respiratory acidosis because we use the low tidal volumes. But because of the good benefits shown by the low tidal volume ventilation, there is a concept called as permissive hypercapnia, where you can accept the PCO2 levels of 60 to 70, allowing the pH of 7.2 to 7.25 for most of the patients. Okay, you can accept that risk and go ahead with the low tidal volume ventilation because of the benefits which it has shown. But this strategy should be you should be very cautious when you are ventilating a severe right heart failure patient, because hypercapnia may worsen the right heart status. So that was about the low tidal volume. Now coming to the positive and expirator pressure. As we discussed in the previous slides, low tidal volume was to prevent the volume trauma, hyperinflation, whereas high PEEP is basically to prevent the electrotrauma, okay, and cause a regional lung recruitment. If you see the picture there, this is how the collapsed lung looks, and when you give the PEEP, it's going to recruit, it's going to open up and improve the ventilation. So not only that, PEEP will also increase the mean airway pressure and it is going to improve the oxygenation. Okay, so this is how an ARDS lung behaves. First, at one point, if you see the low, it's a PV loop basically. So when you look at the graph, at one point the lung starts recruiting, then throughout it will be following a linear path after that, and then after the end of it you will see a plateauing, that is over distension. So ideally you have to set the PEEP above the lower inflection point.